There are three types of variables allowed inside a class: instance variables, static variables, and local variables. Instance variables are otherwise also called as your object level variables because they are associated with object of a class. Now, static variables, which are otherwise known as your class level variables because they are associated with a class. And local variables are otherwise known as your method level variables because they are part of a particular method. Now let us see what are the basic differences among each of these variables. Now instance variables, when I say instance, actually instance is nothing but an object. So instance variables are unique to each instance or object of a class. So when I'm creating multiple objects of a class, each of the object is going to carry one copy of the instance variables. And inside the method, we always refer this instance variable with the help of self parameter. Now, whenever we want to access this instance variable, we have to use the instance or object of that particular class. Now, coming to the class variables are the one which are actually present outside of any method and inside a class. So, we usually define class variable inside the class, but it is always kept outside of any of the methods that is available in the class. And whatever class variables we have declared, they are going to be shared among all instances of a class, which means suppose I have a class A. If I am creating 3 or 4 objects of them, now all those objects are going to share a common value of your class variable. For example, if I take the student as my class, where one thing that is going to be common irrespective of whichever student you are talking to, so it is nothing but your college name. Okay, so the college name I can keep as a class variable, whereas if a roll number, name, so these are some details which are going to be different for every student. So roll number and name in this context, I can keep it as an instance variable because they are going to be unique to each of the objects. So here object is nothing but I can say each of the student. Now whereas the college name of every student is going to be common, which I am going to take as a class variable. And how do we access the class variable? I can access the class variable either by the help of the name of the class, or I can also use the instance of the class because it is common to all the objects. So any object name also you can use while accessing the class variables. Now the local variables are the one which are actually defined within a method, and we do not use self. Like in instance variable, we will be using self to recognize as instance variable. So local variable, they do not precede with the self, and they are simply defined within a method, and they are only accessible within that scope. I mean, the local variables will be created whenever a method is called, and they will be destroyed automatically when the method execution completes. Now let us understand by taking one small example. So in this example, we have taken a class called car, and here you can see we have taken this variable wheels, which is set to 4. Now this variable, you can observe we have two methods defined here because this is declared or defined outside of these two methods but inside the class. Okay, so I say this is my class variable, means this is going to be common for every object that I create for this class car. Now coming to this method set color, so where inside this body you can see I am writing self dot car color. So because this variable car color is preceded with the self, I can recognize this car color as the instance variable. Okay. Now coming to this method, where you can observe we have taken a variable name and it is not preceding with any self. So this is nothing but a local variable. Say this I have set with a value, let's say some Maruti. Fine. Now, so this wheels is nothing but our class variable. This car color is your instance variable, and this name is nothing but a local variable. Now, let's say we are creating two objects of car class that I've written like car1 equal to car. So car1 is the object of one object. Similarly, car2 is another object. Now, once we see this car color, okay, because car color happens to be the instance variable, and here we created two objects. So this car color will have one copy available with this object car1, and the same car color will have another copy available with your car2. So as a result, when I'm calling this set color method using car1, I'm trying to set a value red. So this red will be copied into this color, which is later on assigned to the car color. And later on, when I'm displaying the car color with the self, so self means representing the current object. What is the object? Car1. So with car1, what is the color we have set? Red. So hence we are going to get the output as red. Now here we have taken the second object of the car and we called the same set color once again, but this time we have changed the color. So this color is now going to take a blue now, which is assigned to car color, because we know that car 1 has one copy of car color, car 2 also having another copy of the same car color. So hence car 1 color we have set as red, whereas car 2 color we have set as blue. So the value red is assigned to car color, which is associated with car 1, and blue we have set with the object car 2. So one variable but two different copies are available, one with car 1, other one with car 2. Hence we are able to get the red and blue, two different values. Now when I'm coming to this particular call car1.brand, so brand I am calling with one object. Okay. Now inside this I could see there is a local variable name which is set with Maruti, and I'm just printing the name of it. So when I'm calling this car1.brand, so I'll be getting like Maruti. Okay. So it's a mistake. So only Maruti we are going to get. Okay. Now even if I call with car2.brand also, this local variable value is not changing. Okay. Now finally when we come down to access this wheels, which is actually a class variable. So when I'm accessing this wheels with car1, I'm getting the output as 4, and the same wheels I'm also accessing with car2, still I'm getting 4. The reason is this is a class variable, and as many objects you may create, all of them are going to share a common value. So this is going to be common for number of objects that we may create. Okay. So now overall we can say that class variables are the one which is shared among all the objects of that class. Like here car1, car2, both of them are trying to share the value of wheels and they are producing the same result. Okay. Whereas when talk about the instance variable, each of the object will have their own copy. So like car1 has its own copy of set car color, which is red. Car2 has its own value for the car color, which is blue. Whereas this name that we have taken is nothing but your local variable. So just to see the difference here, this variable is preceding with self, but here there is no self. Okay. So that is how we recognize the different kinds of variable, and as per our requirement we will be using them.